Formula One, glory can vanish in the blink of an eye. And no one knows that better than Felipe Massa, the man who became world champion, for just 39 seconds. Born in São Paulo, Brazil, on April 25, 1981, Felipe Massa grew up with oil and asphalt in his veins. His father, Luiz Antonio Massa, a car parts businessman and amateur racer, introduced him to karts at the age of 8. Felipe was a natural, fearless, precise, and obsessed. By 11, he was already winning regional championships across Brazil. He climbed through the ranks of Brazilian karting before moving to single-seaters, first in the Formula Chevrolet Brazil Series in 1998, where he dominated and won the title in his debut season. From there, he leapt to Europe, chasing the same dream that once drove Senna and Piquet before him. In 2000, Massa competed in the Italian Formula Renault Championship and won it. Not satisfied, he also took the Euro Formula Renault title that same year. His performances caught the eye of Peter Sauber, who saw the spark of something special. In 2001, Massa stepped up to the Formula 3000 Euro Series with Draco Racing, taking 6 wins in 8 races and the championship on his first attempt. It was enough to secure his entry into Formula One the very next season. In 2002, Felipe Massa made his Formula One debut with the Sauber team, a rare feat for a driver so young and inexperienced. He showed flashes of brilliance, outpacing his veteran teammate Nick Heidfeld on occasion, but his raw aggression sometimes got the better of him. After one turbulent season, Sauber benched him for 2003, but Ferrari saw potential. They signed him as a test driver, giving him the discipline and technical understanding that would define his career. By 2004, Massa returned to Sauber a more refined racer, consistent, calm, and fast. Over the next 2 years, he quietly built a reputation as one of the best midfield drivers in the sport, often outperforming the car's limits. His reward came in 2006, when Ferrari called him up to replace Rubens Barrichello alongside 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher. Racing alongside Schumacher could have broken him, but Massa thrived. He learned from the best, developing into a smooth, intelligent driver with blistering pace when it mattered most. That same year, he took his maiden pole and win at the Turkish Grand Prix. But the crowning moment came later, in front of his home fans, when he won the 2006 Brazilian Grand Prix, the first Brazilian to win at home since Ayrton Senna. The grandstands shook with emotion. It felt like destiny. Then came 2008, the year that would define him. Massa battled Lewis Hamilton for the championship in one of the most intense seasons in F1 history. He won 6 races, including flawless drives in Turkey, France, and Hungary. But fate and politics were never far behind. At the Singapore Grand Prix, the infamous Crashgate scandal unfolded. Nelson Piquet Jr. deliberately crashed to aid teammate Fernando Alonso. During the ensuing chaos, Massa's Ferrari pit crew released him early with the fuel hose still attached, a disastrous pit stop that cost him the win and possibly the title. Still, Massa fought to the final round in Brazil, trailing Hamilton by just 7 points. He did everything he needed to do: pole position, dominant race, flawless victory. As he crossed the line, the Ferrari garage erupted in joy. Felipe Massa, world champion, for 39 seconds. Because in those final, chaotic moments, Lewis Hamilton overtook Timo Glock's Toyota, just a few hundred meters from the finish, taking 5th place and the title by a single point. The camera caught Massa's family cheering, then falling silent. On the podium, he stood tall, tears in his eyes, declaring, "We will keep our heads high, because we are proud." In 2009, tragedy struck. During qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix, a suspension spring from Rubens Barrichello's car struck Massa's helmet at over 160 miles per hour. The impact fractured his skull and left him unconscious. His season was over, and his life nearly ended. But Massa's resilience was extraordinary. By 2010, he was back behind the wheel, racing once again for Ferrari. The years that followed saw him as a loyal lieutenant. First to Alonso, then later at Williams, a steady veteran presence who helped bring the team back to the podium. He earned 11 Grand Prix wins, 16 pole positions, and 41 podiums across 269 starts. A career defined not by titles, but by heart. In 2023, long after hanging up his helmet, Felipe Massa's name once again echoed through the paddock, not for the roar of an engine, but for justice long delayed. After years of silence, new revelations around the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, the infamous Crashgate, reignited the fire. Evidence emerged that Formula One and the FIA may have known the truth earlier than the public did, yet failed to act. For Massa, it wasn't about revenge. It was about rewriting a page of history that had always felt torn out of his hands. He launched legal action against Formula One management and the FIA, arguing that had the race been annulled, as sporting fairness might demand, he would have been crowned the 2008 world champion. For him, this wasn't about trophies or headlines. It was about principle, about the purity of competition, and the heartbreak of knowing how close he came to immortality. But as the world watched, something remarkable happened. Fans, from Brazil to Britain, from Monza to Monaco, began to rally behind him. They remembered the humility in defeat, the tears on the podium, the dignity of a man who lost everything and still stood tall. Massa's fight became symbolic of every driver who gave their all and came up short, not through lack of effort, but through the failings of those who governed the sport. Whatever the outcome of the courts, history has already chosen its truth. Felipe Massa was, and always will be, a racer of rare courage, a man of honor in a world often driven by politics and power. He was champion for 39 seconds. But for Brazil, and for millions who felt that heartbeat of hope in 2008, Felipe Massa will forever be a champion in spirit. Join us next time as we dive into the thrilling and often tragic tales of motorsport legends, exploring the stories that defined an era and the drivers who dared to dream.